With our friend from the Des Moines Register, of course, Rekha, and she is playing the role of a very proud mom right now. You are beaming, Rekha.
I am indeed. I am so happy to have my boys home with me, and so I want to introduce you, since I'm always yammering about them on the air. This is my older son, Raj Borsellino, and that's my younger son, Raman Borsellino, and they're home for the holidays.
Good morning.
That one got in close to midnight last night, and this one the night before from D.C. and New York.
Wonderful. That is great. Now tell everybody what Rekha's kids do.
Raj, what do you do?
Well, Rekha's older son is a lawyer at a firm in New York.
Yeah, you know how I mentioned that I didn't know where I went wrong? I raised a corporate lawyer.
Put the face to the corporate lawyer there.
Exactly.
There you go.
But fortunately, I redeemed the family. I am in public service. I work in the Obama administration at the Department of the Interior.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, out in D.C.
Yeah.
So what I thought it might be, because I'm working on a column for Sunday about people coming home for the holidays, Iowans who move and then come back at this time of year, and I was thinking it might be interesting to talk to them about what is Iowan about them when they go and live in other cities. And they both came here when they were babies. Raj was actually closer to 5. Raman was under 2 years old, and so they really are Iowa kids. And now they're living on the East Coast, and there are these little networks of Iowans in Washington and in New York that get together and for games and things like that. But I'm more interested in values. What kinds of Iowa values you think you take with you when you go to the East Coast?
Well, I certainly think that there's kind of like a more of a laid-back kind of appreciation for the holidays. Whereas, I live in New York. I'm in Midtown and Radio City and Times Square, and everybody's always rushing to work. And there's there's really kind of very little time to sit back and listen to Christmas music and to kind of enjoy the holidays, enjoy family. And that's one thing that I really love about coming back here is that we do the kind of the same routine every year where we go to a family friend's house on Christmas Eve for dinner, and then we go to church the night before, at like a kind of a midnight mass, and then the next day we have a bunch of friends over and open presents and do that whole thing. And when you live out in New York, especially the kind of work that I'm doing, you really kind of forget about that, and you forget to kind of take the time and enjoy family and listen to the music, and that's something that I really look forward to here.
And Raman?
Well, in that similar vein, I went shopping for a Christmas tree with my roommates a few weeks ago, and they couldn't believe how big of a tree I wanted. And it was like, no, we get the small one. I was like, that's not good enough. And when you live in the city, in D.C., New York, you just go down to the sidewalk, pay $100 for this little thing. And when you're from Iowa, you drive 20 minutes, go to a farm, and cut down the biggest possible one you can have. So I think things like that, those traditions really.
Besides family and tradition, obviously, that brings you back, do you enjoy coming back to Des Moines after being in a big city with big corporate jobs? Is it boring? Is it interesting? Are you like, oh, it's such a small town? What's your reaction coming back to Des Moines after you've grown up?
Not boring in the least bit. It's something I really look forward to, and I try to do as often as possible, not just during Christmas, but Thanksgiving, for my birthday, for my mother's birthday, for Easter. We both of us try and take at least 3-4 trips.
And for another big occasion coming up.
And for my wedding.
Hey, how about that?
I'm getting married in September here in Des Moines.
Oh, you are? That's
here.
awesome.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Now, who's the lucky gal?
The lucky gal is she and I met in law school, and she also works in New York as a public interest lawyer. So she kind of went the opposite route of me.
She's the one that redeemed the family name.
Yeah,
Such the balance.
So does she have a name, or her name is Aditi? Her name is Aditi.
And what's her last name?
Padmanabhan.
It's a mouthful.
It's a mouthful. She grew up in India and Singapore, and then came to the U.S. for college, and has been here for about 10 years now.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
they were looking at New York, the East Coast somewhere, for the wedding venue. So I never thought they would do it in Des Moines, but they checked out a bunch of places and decided Des Moines was better, right?
Yeah, I mean, when we were doing kind of our wedding search, we looked at one place after the other, and we looked, in one day we would look at 3 or 4 different states around the Northeast. I mean, we really kind of went scorched earth, and what we found
found was that the venues here the people were just so personable and warm and friendly and really, I mean, not to disparage the other places we looked at in the East Coast.
No, we don't care.
Go ahead. Yeah, really. I think
let's hold back on
Iowans
that
would
one.
enjoy that. Yes.
No, he's a lawyer.
Yeah. But we really felt like there was such a personal touch here, and plus the fact that I had grown up here and that my mother is willing to pay for everything and do all the work.
Oh,
Way to go,
right.
Merry
Rekha.
Christmas to you.
Exactly.
All
I think you
right.
guys have to start, paying me for these.
So, Ron, what do you like about coming back home the most?
Everything. I mean, I would live here if it wasn't for the work I was doing otherwise. But I get homesick. People couldn't be any nicer, as Raj said, especially around the holidays. Just this homey feeling. I had a professor tell me once that he said, I've never seen someone more proud of their home state as you are and boast and brag about it. And I feel like that's the case with everyone here. So you've just got this sense of excitement and pride.
Do you have a little clique of Iowa people you hang out with?
I do, absolutely. People stick together. There's a state society of Iowa in D.C. that's a really strong network. And I was watching the Cyclones Hawkeyes basketball game, and I was at a Cyclones bar, and those fans just took over the bar, and other people were like trying to have dinner, and they were standing up on chairs, chanting Cyclone Power until they had the bar to themselves.
They drove everyone up.
Well, Rekha, we appreciate you sharing your family with us this morning. Is this kind of what you're hearing for your article that you're writing, with people coming back and traditions that they share?
Yeah, I mean, mostly just going to the airport the last couple of nights and seeing these families coming from far and wide and being reunited was so touching. And we found his old high school principal at the airport waiting for her son. Yeah, and so many people that we know in different capacities whose kids have moved away. So it's sort of bittersweet to see how many kids have moved away and left, but then to see them coming back and being reunited is lovely.
Kind of gets you right here, doesn't it?
It really, really does. Yeah.
Wonderful. That was awesome that you brought them over. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Now we know who
for
you're talking
having
about when you talk about them so
Exactly.
poorly, everyone.
Great to meet you guys. It really is awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
It was a
so
pleasure
much.
meeting you.
And have a good
Happy
Christmas.
holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.